Hello, Ducks fans, hockey fans in Orange County, California, United States, Finland, and all over the world. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, the NHL entry draft has come and gone, and our Ducks have made 8 selections through rounds 1 and 7. And those 8 selections reflect our Anaheim Ducks' needs in the addressing some weaknesses in scoring and positional needs and the depth needs, you name it. Now, before the draft began, we know the Ducks' weaknesses have been one, their scoring, their lack of scoring on all positional fronts, on all, be it right wing, left wing, center, the defense core, you name it. Two, the defense, getting some reasonable defensive defensemen. Three, depth, and of course, four, goaltending, due in part of the departure of the now recently retired goaltender Brian Miller. And going and watching this draft and basically watching round 1 and round 2 over those days on the 23rd and 24th, the players our Anaheim Ducks have selected were, in my personal opinion, basically address important needs. And like many of you, I was very pleased and happy with who the Ducks pick, especially in round 1. Now, round 1, third overall, as many of you have watched, the Anaheim Ducks selected at the third overall Mason McTavish, center from the Peterborough Petes. Now, I know most of you wanted William Eklund or Matt Beniers, but I'll be very honest with you, okay? Having the Ducks pick Mason McTavish was something I never thought would happen because a recent video that I made, I felt that Mason McTavish was the primary choice, a suitable candidate for our Ducks to draft at the third overall. With words and rumors about whether or not the Ducks can use the third overall to land Jack Eichel, leading up to draft remains to be seen, and talk and speculation, you name it. It was like a lot of chatter going on because for me, making a prediction that the Ducks would, say, draft Mason McTavish, I was taken aback because I never would have thought that a prediction that I would make on who the Ducks would pick at number 3 would come true. So basically, and I'll tell you why I felt this way. I did a lot of research on McTavish. I talked to some people I knew through family and friends in Ontario, to reading some of the comments on people on OHL fans who've watched this kid play. And I also looked at some of the highlights on YouTube, and not the ones that, like, say, focusing on, like, say, his penalties, his mistakes, but on his skill level. And I was very blown away by how he had the nose for the net, his determination, his speed, his hockey IQ, as he mentioned, and hearing his name, hearing what Stubborn Bob said, Peterborough Pete's, Mason McTavish, I had a smile on my face because I have a deep down, and it's not that much of a deep down. I had a feeling the Ducks made the right choice, and they did. I really see Mason as kind of like a long-term a project for the Ducks to ensure the future is bright, but also to pass the torch in a line of succession of the legacy of perseverance from from the previous generation of Ducks, the current generation of Ducks, be it like Getzlaff and Henrique and Fowler and Gibson, to Mason and to the other 7 Ducks prospects selected in this year's draft class of 2021. Speaking of the draft class, the Ducks on the 24th of July, basically day 2, round 2, the Ducks selected on the second round at the 34th overall. Excuse me, first one. Olin Zellweger, no relations to some famous actress in Hollywood, defenseman from the Everett Silvertips of the WHL. On round 3, at the 66th overall, the Ducks selected Sasha Pastuchuval from the USA U18 National Team Development Program. He's a right wing, but he's also left-hander, so I have firmly believed that Sasha is basically a two-way forward. He plays on both wings, right wing, left wing. A very flexible, mobile winger that I feel the Ducks drafted him for that strength. Still at the 3rd round, and which surprised me, the Ducks made a trade with Montreal to get the 76th pick. And the 76th pick, the Ducks used to select defenseman from the Rimouski Oceanic, Tyson Hines. Round number 4, at the 98th overall, the Ducks selected a center from the NCAA 2021 hockey champions, UMass Amherst, Joshua Lopina. Sorry if I butchered that name, okay? Also a center, a very effective center. Round number 5, basically the Ducks have 2 selections at that time. The Ducks selected at the 130th overall, Sean Turskell. And again, I apologize for messing up the mispronunciation of that name. A left winger from the Calgary Hitmen. Ducks captain Ryan Getzlaff's old junior team. Round 5 at the 148th overall, the Ducks selected, and this one I was understanded well why they made this selection. The Ducks selected Gage Alexander, goalie from the Winnipeg Ice. Due in part that with Miller gone, the Ducks need a goalie to ensure that depth, strength, and that pipeline, as many hockey pundits and some fans have said, still remained intact, still connected. The thing about Gage Alexander from the Winnipeg Ice was that really made me dive deep into research about him is his size. He is between 6'6" to 6'7". That makes him the tallest goalie / player prospect our Anaheim Ducks have selected. 6'7". We're talking about, oh my goodness, we're talking about somewhere between Pekka Rinne size, man. And finally, on round 6, at the 162nd overall, the Ducks selected a center from Minnesota, Maple Grove High School, Kyle Kukkonen. I have a feeling that he may be of Finnish descent, but well, what can I say? Players from Minnesota are one of the most best players of the United States. They've contributed a lot. All 8 of these players, including the one that I made that prediction, what this tells me, what this Ducks draft class that the Ducks made official has told me, or not told me, has made me believe that they focus on a few things. One is basically the center, okay, due in part of whether or not if Getzlaf decides to move on from the Ducks, okay. Um, I'm not going to get into the rumors of whether or not if he stays or goes. It's another video I will address soon. I promise you. And two, whether or not if Adam Henrique is going to get traded or I mean, who knows too. But I do believe personally that when you draft like McTavish and Kyle Kukkonen, okay, and Joshua Lupina, those 3 are long-term projects. Those 3 are going to basically, the Ducks will do their due diligence and being patient and um, keeping an eye on them to ensure that their game has developed well. It's a part of our Ducks MO, okay? Developing within. So, Mason McTavish, Joshua Lupina, Kyle sorry, I keep messing this up, okay? Kyle Kukkonen, okay, at center. Those 3 centers hopefully will develop well in the next 3 or 4 seasons and years. The defense, I mean, Olin Zellweger and Tyson Hines. Of course, it's basically their standard MO of stocking the cupboards of defensemen, whether it be a right-hand defenseman or a left-hand defenseman, offensive, defensive, you name it. The Ducks have always done this. It's a known fact. It's known. We know this, okay? We know this because we grew up with this team, okay? We grew up with this team. We grew up knowing who the Ducks draft and sign and you name it. It is part of their DNA, okay? Wingers, okay. Pastajuf and Sean Turskell. I'm going to promise you, I'm going to learn how to pronounce these names, okay? As you know, the Ducks' lack of scoring on the wing is questionable. It's been abysmal and, of course, hotly debated by many Ducks fans. Getting these guys, and, of course, I looked at the highlights, the hockey highlights of these 2 guys. Pastajuf, mostly. Pastajuf, I mean, the kid not only can skate, but he can score. I mean, with the right mentorship and talent and who knows what commitment to any NCAA hockey school he's going, or a college hockey team he's going to, watch out. We may see a player that could maybe contribute to the Ducks in becoming that powerhouse and commit to another rising to greatness for the Ducks in the near future. Who knows? Sean Turskell, I'm looking at his highlights, and I'm still am. I want to know more about this guy. He seems to be, I wouldn't say old school, but probably once I've finished this video, I'm gonna go in and check on the comments, check on the scouting reports of this guy, because he is from Getzlaf's old junior team, the Hitmen. So I'm sure that whatever they see in him, I have a feeling that we may see him in either the 3rd or 4th line with our Ducks in the future, within the next few years, as we see how his progression will be. And finally, Gage Alexander, the tallest Ducks prospect. Making long. I'm going to go with like a short, like long story short, or just make. I'm just going to say this, okay? Getting this goalie serves two purposes. Of course, one is basically um, like replenishing the goaltending depth, uh, ensuring that the line of goalies the Ducks have, from Gibson to Stellares to Dolstoy to Dury, and of course Alexander, is not broken. So getting him, I believe, was a good pickup. The Ducks do need a goalie, and with Miller gone, they need that um, um, depth strength to be strong once again. So all these players that the Ducks have made is truly. I have to give this draft class the Ducks assembled for 2021 basically an A. Okay, it wasn't um, flashy. It wasn't like bad or weak. It was just an A. It was good. It was good that it addressed some needs. Now, do we expect that all 8 of these players make the jump to the NHL quickly? No, no. These are long-term, or long-term projects for the Ducks to develop and mold and groom and ensure that these players slowly integrate into the Ducks system of hockey. And hopefully we see all 8 of these players, especially Mason McTavish and Olin Zellweger and Sasha Pastajuv and Gabe Alexander wearing the Ducks D. To be honest with you, I am very happy with this draft class. And the only thing we can do, the only thing all Ducks fans, including myself, can do is just wait and see and learn about these guys, research about them, and hopefully when the Mooseheads host Rimouski, I can take a just watch how this kid plays, Tyson Hines. Now, what it comes down to is that the future is bright, and we won't know how well these 8 players will develop. But one thing is for certain, okay? This drafting of that came and gone is hopefully marks the beginning of more changes, more reforms for our team. As many of you all know, that tomorrow is going to be the I wouldn't call it abbreviated, but the free agent frenzy for our Anaheim Ducks and the other 31 NHL teams, especially the Squidheads, to sign players into the roster and sign the players they need. The Ducks made 5 qualifying offers to players like Comtois, Steele, Lundstrom, Mahara, and Jones. Of course, I would expect them, as like many of you, would expect them to sign, but in the next few days we won't know. And still, the rumors with Jack Eichel, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to come from tomorrow? Are the Ducks going to make a big splash in the free agent signing? Who knows? I would not be surprised if they don't make any signings. They make depth signings. I mean, that's what the Ducks do. We know this. I mean, it's part of their development within strategy. It's been going on for, my goodness, 28 years, 29 years now. Man, it's almost like we're all getting old, except most of us are in our 30s and 40s, and we've been following these guys since day one, since we're kids. All I could say is this. Going back to the draft and looking at these names, I'm looking forward to see more and see how well these prospects, how well they develop. It's always a great joy. It's always a great joy for me. It's always a great joy for any of you. It will test our patience. Think about that. Not that long ago, we saw two players drafted in the same year in 2003. Went from being prospects to Stanley Cup champions to now NHL regulars. And one is a Ducks captain, and you know who I'm talking about. All right, so as many of us wait and hoping the Ducks do something, whether or not they free agent signings or trades, let's just be patient and see what happens. So that's all I gotta say. So till then, I'll see you guys soon. Go Ducks.